Hi and welcome to a new episode of Apex Race. In this episode we will check out this bohemian of a car, Mercedes-Benz S-Class with a small 6-cylinder engine, and then we will go for a test drive. So have fun and enjoy!
The Mercedes-Benz S-Class W140, launched in 1991, is the epitome of automotive perfection and innovation. Designed by the great Bruno Sacco, head of design at Mercedes, the W140 is a big leap forward in technology and luxury. The W140 looks big and solid, permanent and safe. Clean and purposeful lines, big front grille and rectangular headlamps, it's in charge of the road. Sacco's vertical affinity philosophy gives a timelessness to the Mercedes design and moves forward in aerodynamics and elegance.
From the front, especially like this section here, the fender and the hood, front lights, the S-Class took a lot in advance of the future C-Class. C-Class was like a shrinked version of the S-Class. The E-Class was a little bit different with the double round headlights. And this S-Class is like huge. It was the biggest S-Class yet. The generation afterwards were like in proportion or like in design language smaller than this S-Class. And I mean, the thing is like really gigantic. It looks like a tank on the road and it feels a little bit, but more on that you will see in a test drive. So very classic grille, of course the Mercedes-Benz star, headlights in a classic Mercedes-Benz outfit. In general, it's boxy, like 80s boxy, but we have some very smooth, delicate design towards like the contours, the roundish things, not so extensive and not so massive like in the 90s, but we see some little things here, some starting of roundiness.
Inside is luxury. High-quality materials, soundproofing, and attention to detail make the cabin a new world of comfort. Double pane glass windows reduce external noise to a whisper. Technically, the W140 was a powerhouse. It was one of the first cars to have the Electronic Stability Program, or ESP. This system detects and reduces loss of traction, a big deal for on-road safety. Another innovation was the Adaptive Damping System, or ADS, that allowed the driver to adjust the suspension for more comfort or sporty. This was key for comfort and dynamic performance. And that was not all. The W140 had soft closed doors and trunks that closed quiet and secure with minimal effort. The Parktronic system and early parking assistance used ultrasonic sensors to guide the driver during parking. It even had an integrated phone system with voice recognition, the precursor to our hands-free options today. Under the bonnet, the W140 had a range of powerful engines, from inline-6 to the mighty V12.
From the side we see the enormous dimensions of the S-Class, like beginning in the front. I mean, we had like also 8-cylinder engines here, so not a problem. And then this huge compartment for the passengers, and then of course big trunk in the back. And here we have some like this C-pillar. All this section is a little bit different. The comparison to the previous generation of the S-Class, it's more clean, more lean, but on the same side everything got bigger. We have just a big plain door here, sheet metal, also here sheet metal. It just like huge, which is like a little bit also camouflaging the huge size of it, but if you see it then on the road, it's like really a tank.
The V12 was the epitome of luxury and technology, one of the most advanced engines of its time. Developed over 5 years with millions of kilometers of testing, the W140 was launched at the Geneva Motor Show in 1991. The initial reaction to its size and weight was mixed, but the W140 soon earned a reputation for solid build and cutting-edge technology. Production ended in 1998, but its impact is permanent. The W140 set the bar for luxury and innovation that would be followed by future S-Class.
In the back we have a very classic sedan look with the trunk. We have some radio antenna, and then we have some little thingies here, which is like parking indicator. Back in the days there were like no parking sensors, so they had like this little antennas sticking out so the driver saw where is the end of the car. We have some riffled taillights. I heard like the story that It should like prevent dirt going on the taillights and yeah, dirtying up the taillights. Then we have like one massive light here and some chrome elements, but very delicate chrome elements with a huge massive car. The trunk is also gigantic, just the bare metal here on the side, a little bit of cover. Of course it's an S-Class, but in general a huge cargo space. Very funny feature. Back in the days we don't had like remote opening, but what we had is like when we are like turning the key, pushing it inwards, this flap is popping up, so you have your handle to grab that and to open the trunk. Yeah, if you're like closing it, it's hiding. High tech of the 90s.
The W140 had a range of engines to suit all performance needs, from practical and efficient to powerful and posh. The base models 300C standard wheelbase and 300cell long wheelbase were powered by a 3.2-liter inline-six from the M104 series. With around 228 bhp, this engine was smooth and reliable with a good balance of performance and economy. In later years, the 3.2-liter inline-six engine models were badged S320 as per Mercedes-Benz's new naming convention. For more power, the 400C and 400cell had a 4.2-liter V8. This M119 engine produced around 278 bhp and was powerful with a refined drive. A step up the performance scale was the 500C and 500cell with a 5.0-liter V8 from the same M119 family. This engine produced around 315 bhp and was a big jump in performance and a very smooth ride with loads of power on tap. S420 and S500. Like the inline-six models, the V8 models were later badged as 420 and S500. At the top of the W140 range was the 600C and 600cell, later known as the S600.
As things are huge outside, they are very huge inside. I mean, the steering wheel is huge, all the gauges are huge, the dashboard, the seats, it really feels like 80s, 90s inside here. As it is like just a small S-Class, we have, for example, no climate control, but we have like power windows, power mirrors, not so many other like convenient features. We have, of course, cruise control and this beautiful wood trim, and then it's starting also like everything, the dashboard, everything is like soft padded. This car has 309,000 kilometers on the clock. Of course, it's a little bit used, but it looks really new and well maintained. Power locking mechanism on the left, windows as lights on the left also, electric tilt of the steering wheel, parking here, wipers, the cruise control, then this huge 5 gauges in the middle, the clock, speedometer, the tachometer, some fuel consumption, you don't care about fuel consumption, oil pressure, water temperature, and the gas tank of that, you have to take care of that. Then we have some funny thing here. It's like this button, if you're looking back, and the headrest is in the way of the rear passengers, you can flip it with the switch here. And then, as I said, no air control, no climate control, just like the ventilation, an ashtray, which is really nice. The power windows on the side, the automatic gear, everything here. And then we have also like a huge storage compartment here in the armrest. We have a very big also glove compartment here, and then we have a storage compartment which is like sliding up. If you give it like a little push, it slides up. Then of course the sun visors are also gigantic. Lights here, light switches. The rear mirror is also huge. We have a sunroof here. It feels really nice, it looks very nice, but of course it's like this nostalgic of the 90s. So welcome on the back seat of the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, and I mean the headliner is a little bit off here. We have some funny thing here, like for the passengers in the back we have also a mirror with some lights, so yeah, the ladies in the back can also make themselves pretty. We have a huge handle here, of course, like power mirrors, some map storage here, some ventilation, of course the armrest, but besides that in the small S-Class we don't have any like more convenient things. Of course we have some separate curtain lights here and stuff like that, and the headrest which I flipped and which are not like holding up. Yeah, you can lean back and enjoy the drive when the chauffeur is like driving you to your next business meeting.
Inside, it all added up to a really spacious and comfortable place. Interior space was one of the W140's key features. Over 1,000 millimeters of front legroom, so even the tallest drivers and front passengers could travel in comfort. Long wheelbase had 1,100 millimeters of rear legroom. That was one of the car's key selling points, attracting executives and chauffeur-driven customers who prioritized rear seat comfort. Front and rear headroom were both big, around 965 millimeters in the front and 955 millimeters in the rear, so passengers could sit comfortably without feeling squished even on long trips. And don't forget the boot space. The W140 had a big boot with around 525 liters of space, so passengers could travel in comfort and carry lots of luggage without compromising the car's looks. In summary, the W140's dimensions were designed to give a commanding road presence and luxurious interior space. Every inch of the W140 was precision engineered to meet the highest standards of comfort, safety, and style.
So I would say, let's go for a quick test drive. The first thing I'm noticing is like the safety belts. That looks like quite normal, but when you're trying to something is sticking out, it's like a guidance, it feels a little bit weird. We need to put it into reverse. The antennas are coming up, and I have to say this thing is like really huge. You need these antennas, but the steering turn, it's really small. Yeah, so that's a good thing. It's such a nice feeling if you have like the star, the Mercedes-Benz star in the hood, in the front of the hood, and then you're just letting loose the brake, and then it's like really floating. And if you're interested like in how that feels from my perspective, check out the POV video. I will link that in the description and in the comment box, so you can have the feeling of you driving the Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Even it's a 6-cylinder, but the sound is so nice and the shifting is so smooth, even for a car which is like 35 years old. Brakes, of course, we are talking about here like 2 tons or even more, so the brakes have to work a little bit, but besides that, the power steering is so supportive, you don't feel really the weight of the car. We will go for a little bit highway drive. Let's see how the car behaves. It's like really huge, like these bumps. It's like just flattening these bumps. You don't feel any bump at all. I mean, of course, we have a little bit here of like a softer suspension, and if you're like going into the turns, you feel like the whole car is like, you know, a little bit floaty, boat floaty, going to the side. We are at 80. The engine is like at 2,500 RPMs idling. I mean, fuel consumption is like showing 12.5 liters. I didn't expect such wind noises from a Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Okay, now we are accelerating. 100. Wind noise is getting stronger. 110. Are like at cruising speed 120. It's a little bit hill down, 3,000 revs, so it's a little bit much, to be honest, like for such a huge car, and like you should float and stuff like that. And fuel consumption is like 12.5, so we are talking about 2 tons, yeah, 2 tons plus. And back in the days, I think 12.5 was okay-ish for such a huge car. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Apex Race. If you like to see more such a classic young timer, old timer cars, let me know. What do you think about the S-Class without climate control? Let me also know, and I hope we see us in the next video. So have fun and yeah, stay safe. See you next time. Bye.